Alright, so it's been a full week since I've had the Akai MPC sample. In my first video, I just opened it up, blindly made a beat without knowing much, so there was a bunch of unanswered questions in it that I'd like to say now I have the answers to. I've been watching a bunch of tutorials, I took this thing to the beach, and so now I do feel like I got a better grasp on it, and I'm gonna show you some things I learned as well as correct some things from the last video, starting with the built-in speakers. So yeah, I personally thought the speakers were ass because I couldn't hear the kick over the sound of me hitting the pad, but it turned out I just didn't have the faders boosted for everything, or at least for the kick, you know what I'm saying? So overall, they're really not that bad. I posted up a short and there's still a bunch of people talking about how bad the speaker is. They're saying it's a gimmick. They're saying all these things. Now, again, I came out saying it was trash in my first video, you know what I'm saying? But I've since realized it ain't that bad, bro. Like, what do you guys want from this tiny little speaker? People are saying they'd rather not have a speaker. Why would you rather not have a speaker? Here's a video I took at the beach where literally I made a whole beat without any headphones. Like, let's be real. It's not like we're supposed to be mixing on this. Someone had this whole detailed comment about how people need to know these aren't reference monitors. Yeah, they're not reference monitors. We're not trusting this for a full mix before we send off to DSPs, bro. And if you're a beginner and if you didn't know that, I don't want to sound like condescending or anything, but I thought that was just like common knowledge. It's just a tiny little speaker so that we have something to play on, you know? Akai did not send their goons after me, all right? This is my own, I came to this conclusion on my own. But yeah, next thing I learned, right? I was wondering how to import samples. I bought me a micro SD card from Amazon. I saw that you can bypass plug in the micro SD card into your computer and you can plug through USB-C on this. That wasn't working for me. Turns out there's a firmware update. If you didn't know that, once you get this thing, go to mpc-sample.local, plug this bad boy in, and you'll get a firmware update to where when you plug this in via USB-C, there is an SD card option. So now you can just drag samples over. So now I got a bunch of sounds from my own kits and stuff. So let's cook something up real quick so you can know a bit more of what I learned. Oh, another thing I learned, shift is super important. So open a new project, you hit shift project. See, as you can see, there's that SD card access button. Hopefully you can see that without a glare now. But let's hit new project, let's hit yes. And let's just start loading some samples. So let's go sample select. I'm gonna make some kits or something, you know, some L.Dre drum kits that I can just go to right away. But yeah, pretty much you want to hit external user. Now all I have on here is like the Datsun pack and a bunch of my packs, and I threw like mad keys, piano samples on here. But yeah, let's just go to like L.Dre drum kit volume 7. Oh, another thing I said in the last video is when you go to the pad banks, I'm like, damn, you got to click every single one. But no, I believe you hold it and now this lights up and you can choose, let's say like that one, that's going to be G. And now you can get around them a lot quicker. So that's something new that I learned. Let's just find something to sample real quick. Another thing I learned is that you can manually sample pretty easily. So I think you can just hit play on a sample and just go. But let's just do it the other way because I want to be able to warp it. I think also you can zoom in on the playhead. Boom. So yeah, we can change the endpoint to, I think, here. having trouble. How did I do it last time? Oh, drums first. Okay, let's try that. Let's just go back to drums. Alright, fuck it. I think the warp, when you turn warp to sequence, I think it matches the BPM of the sample. I'm not sure. Let's say I wanted to duplicate this sequence, right? So I can start arranging stuff. You hold shift and you hold erase, but it's actually copy. So you're gonna copy that pad to this pad, right? So let's say for this pad, for this sequence, I don't want any of the shakers or anything like that. In order to delete the shaker and not delete it from the pad, you have to have record sequence selected, I think. And then you hold shift and erase. No. I think I got that wrong. You just have to have playback going, I think. Let's try that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it just has to be playing. It doesn't have to have sequence record on. That was my apology. So yeah, for example, so if I don't want the kick in this area. Okay, so boom, essentially that is how you'll be able to start arranging. So if I go to sequence, I can start on sequence 1. Then go to the next sequence after. And then, so if you're really gonna start arranging, you can just go back to sample and you hit shift song, and then you hit insert, boom. Let's switch back to this one, insert. So I wish I did something shorter, but now we can hit play. And then we can start playing the song, and then we can hit export. You can export the whole song into a new sequence or just into a mix down and then, you know, drag it off the SD card if you want to export that way. But we also found a better way to export directly into Ableton. So I'm just going to show you that real quick. I have these cables plugged into the interface. I didn't realize that you can actually do audio via USB-C. I'm going to plug this into my MacBook right now. So let's load that first beat I made in the first video because I actually did like that beat. All right, so on here, you want to hit shift and then you want to hit, where is it? 8 is MIDI config. So I got this from Sarah to Ill, by the way. I got these settings from her video. Main thing is to have MIDI port to USB. And then if you want to control Ableton, you can have MIDI sync out to MIDI clock. And then also you can use this as a MIDI keyboard. So if you want to have MIDI pad out to always and MIDI pad in on as well, that's how you can use this as a MIDI keyboard. So let me just show you that real quick, which is sick. Pull up a kit. So when we go into Ableton though, it's settings and we go to link tempo and MIDI. You just want to make sure you have sync on for the MPC sample. And then that way, when I hit play, oh, no, it's playing these drums with these sounds. That's pretty cool though. But no, you hit this little external button right here and then play works. But again, since I opened this MIDI track up, it is going to be playing some actual drums. But another thing you can do is you hit settings and then you can actually make an input the MPC sample. I didn't know this. So I don't even need to be hooked up to my interface. So we just need to make sure our tempo is the same, sequence 93. It's really as simple as hitting record and then it'll wait till you hit play. But yeah, so obviously if you want to do stems, then you have to make more tracks. I don't know how much I'll feel like it, but let's say the kick, for example. If we just want the kick, then we got to go and mute everything. You know what I'm saying? We also have to mute the sample as well. Yeah, we just hit record in Ableton and hit play. Boom, go to a new track, turn it on, then boom, now we do the snare. Honestly, like, this is the process. I shouldn't complain about this process, but it's kind of lame, you know, like that's a lot of work. Like for me personally, I'll probably do the drums on their own and the sample on their own and just do some mixing magic to make it sound the way I want to sound. I'm not about to be every single drum sound that I use, he telling me I gotta do it one by one. Now that's just the limitations of this kind of stuff. You know, it's love and basketball, you know what I'm saying? But that really ain't for me, but this is it. Honestly, this is the whole process of making a beat from start to finish on this thing. Loading samples, chopping samples, copy and pasting, undoing. Like I showed you, you can make your own sequences and songs by just copying and pasting and muting things you don't like, deleting pieces of patterns and stuff like that. If anybody has found an easier way to modify patterns better, let me know, because that would be good to know. If not, this is it. So after a full week with it, what is my verdict? Is this worth $400? Is this better than a KO2 or an Ableton Move or something like that? Personally, I think this is 100% worth it. I don't think it's overhyped. I think what's happening right now is a lot of people have it. I don't know how many people Akai sent this to for free. And again, disclaimer, I was not one of them. I paid my own hard-earned money for this, but it does seem like they flooded the streets of like the influencer sphere. So I think there's just like a natural animosity towards that. So I think a lot of people are hating because this is good, but a lot of people who got it for free are telling you it's good. I think that's kind of what's going on, but overall in general, people just love to hate. I don't think I've ever posted a video about any piece of gear that doesn't get hate, whether it's like this $300 little chord machine or the OP1 or the OPXY, which I barely use, you know what I'm saying? People are always gonna hate when things cost money that they either can't afford or maybe they have something else and they're like, I don't need it, so it sucks. Like, what kind of mindset is that? You already have the MPC Live 2, so you don't need this, so this is dumb? Just because you don't need it? Or the people talking about the speaker's not good, get rid of it? So you'd rather have no speaker? Honestly, guys, like some of you guys, man, it's just like you guys be having me scratching my head in these comments like, oh, I don't know, man. And I know I'm an influencer, so like, you know, I buy gear all the time that just sits and collects dust because it's just, I love to do it, okay? I love to do it. It's a passion of mine. And I can make money by doing it. So I do it. I get that. But when you see something that's not for you, bro, it might just not be for you, okay? And that's fine. This is perfect for anybody who just wants to have fun. This is also perfect. I've seen so many people who don't even make beats at all, and they're like, oh, that's cool. Maybe I should start making beats. It's the same thing with the KO2. It looks cool, it has a fun aesthetic, and people are like, what is that? I want that, I want to get into that. And now Akai, legends of sampling, are in that market where people who don't even make beats, now they have a product for them. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you, but it is for me. I also still plan on comparing it to the Ableton Move and the KO2, so stay tuned for that. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. If you want to learn how to get into my line of work and make videos like this for a living, all the gear you want, all this stuff that I've built, I'm dropping a new masterclass called the YouTube Producer Blueprint. Hit the link in the description and join the waiting list because it's gonna be very good, very good. Anyway, I'm a table, don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot be. I'll catch you in the next one.